and we're launching, and we're crashing.
The Angry Birds movie is really weird. Angry Birds is a gaming franchise that used to dominate the phone game market. Heck, that wasn't even the only market it dominated. You can go into a store without seeing an Angry Bird plush looking into your soul. See, you all know me as the Pokemon guy, and even sometimes the Sonic guy, but the franchise that got the most money from my unassuming parents was by far Angry Birds. Because I had a weird addiction to it, not even the games. I just thought the birds were cute. I mean, look at the little guy, he's red. That doesn't mean the games are bad though, because they're not. Mentioning them is important, as the games are the main giveaway to the plot of the movie. Albeit Angry Birds isn't a very lore intensive game. However, do you want to know what it is intensive in? The sheer volume of games. There's a lot here. Being a very simple game and premise meant that Rovio, the company that developed the games, could easily adapt it to be whatever they want it to be. Like Star Wars, an RPG, a racing game, a B-Tech Candy Crush, heck, space even? Do we know why they're in space? No? Okay. But aside from space, the story of Angry Birds is about pigs stealing the birds' eggs and the birds getting them back. I take a look at the games, and then I glance at the movie, and there's little correlation between plots. I mean, how do you go from birds wanting to look after their eggs to some geopolitical mess?
Not too dissimilar to how Detective Pikachu went from a creature-catching game to the mess the final movie ended up being.
Damn, you're right. Who's behind this movie though? You gotta be a moron. Oh, John Cohen, the man known for such works as Despicable Me, Hop, and my personal favourite, Robots. Not a bad selection to be fair, but the thing is, he had a larger obstacle this time. He was making a movie about a phone game, and movies are long. They're usually over 90 minutes, and my favourite film of all time, Angry Birds, is an hour and a half long. How did they fill out that time? You see, padding. They had to pad it out by making it more than a mere plot about eggs and making a plot about deceit and... I'll read you the summary. The birds live in their island in peace, and we have Red, who's an outcast with an anger problem. His anger results in him getting dumped into anger management, where he meets Chuck and Bomb. Meanwhile, there are two pigs coming to the island. They come, showcase their culture. Red is skeptical the entire time and goes to their boat and finds many more pigs. Then the island is overrun with pigs as they take the eggs and go back to their island to cook the eggs. There's a boring fight scene where the birds go and attack the pigs, and it lasts longer than it should. But it has the gameplay from the games, which I'm sure all the kids will froth over. But anyways, apart from my own personal gripes with the movie, it's not bad. I mean, there are other problems, but I think the designs are strange. But at the same time, I don't know how else you could go about making a design out of these. The same goes for the pigs. It seems like they grabbed a PNG, stretched it out, and added arms and legs. One cool addition I noticed as a kid was that they added a couple of other birds as a cool throwback for the hardcore Angry Birds fans. All three of them, one of them being Hal, the green fella, voiced by Anthony Padilla, previously known for Smosh. And seeing their cinematic endeavours, I don't have much hope. Although, the Angry Birds movie turned out to be a big win, raking in $352 million and a bunch of games afterwards, merch, and a sequel, which also seems to be oddly politically charged, meaning that we got another movie with these annoying characters, which I didn't notice that much in the first movie, but the first movie was more of an original plot, introducing the characters, before they had the opportunity to butcher them. But it wasn't like there was much good in the first place, as our main protagonist, Red, had to be gaslit into being likeable. The Angry Birds movie starts off with our protagonist, Red, delivering cake. He apparently delivered it late, according to the neighbour, which didn't make any sense, but anyway, this was my first taste of Red being a character who would become a victim of his environment, as he would continually get gaslit throughout the movie, seen by a suspicion that the pigs were more than they let on. The suspicion here turning out to be correct, not because of the few hints here and there, but because he genuinely dislikes every one of them because of an accident on their end, and he no longer wants them on the island anymore. You know, the rational conclusion I came to was that if Red hates everyone on the island already, and the people on the island gaslight him, why would he like anyone else? The narrative in the movie makes Red out to be an asshole, which he is to an extent, although the movie will artificially shaft him to make the audience feel sympathy. Then whenever Red reacts in a way that isn't passive, he gets shunned, and then he's only listened to when something bad happens. Again, a smart move by the writers to make Red a victim. Victim being the key word. And the main problem I have with the alternative viewing of this movie, because if you didn't pick up on it from my coverage of the movie so far, this movie was obviously an allegory for mass immigration to Europe and right-wing propaganda. Not an innocent family-friendly movie. It was so obvious and not an oversimplification of an issue that is much larger than the movie makes it out to be. While I can agree and say that Angry Birds is arguably right-wing propaganda, once you're aware of the writing, you can easily pick apart the two comparisons and see why. One of them's a fictional story about birds, and the other one is a much more complicated issue that shouldn't be trivialized in the way it is in Angry Birds. I try not to get political in this channel, however when you make an 18-minute video on censorship and talk about how different countries censor LGBT relationships, I guess I do get political, even though LGBT rights are more common sense than anything. But immigration, I'm not trying to change your mind or give you an alternative viewpoint. I'm clearly going to state my truth and apply it to the Angry Birds movie, because it could be very easy for anyone to see this movie and come away with a really bad message. The immigration in the movie that is compared to real life is the refugee situation that's going on in Europe, where plenty of people from quote-unquote unsafe countries are fleeing in hopes of making a better life for themselves and their family. And oftentimes, their lives are threatened, and many people die in the process of leaving their country. It doesn't take a scientist to figure it out, but maybe the ones who don't like immigrants may be the ones causing the problems. Just a thought. In the movie, the pigs don't have that situation at all. They live in a society that is much more advanced than the one the birds live in, making their goal purely greed, which is fitting because they're pigs. The right like to victimize themselves, which is why you see that in red, I think. And they commonly trivialize immigration, as people have an ulterior motives to replace them or something, which is another dumb thing in and of itself. Apart from that though, the Angry Birds movie, I say that every time because the movie is incredibly boring and kinda generic, aside from the whole immigration thing, and there are a few more layers you can dig through, but that's Reddit territory, and I won't go into that. But apparently Rovio being a Finnish company is why the movie took an anti-immigration approach. Take that with a grain of salt, which, to be fair, Rovio did have a large impact on the story. But this anti-immigration message is mostly speculation, being speculated through a poorly executed animated video game romp. There wasn't just one movie though, there was a sequel, and there's a third one on the way. Can't wait. I went to see the second Angry Birds movie in cinemas with a friend, and we didn't expect much. It was a last minute decision, and I don't remember watching it all that well. I mainly remember seeing the baby shark scene, and we looked at each other and we just winced, and I think that details enough of my opinion. I knew of the supposed right-wing propaganda in the first movie, and I wondered what they could do to either cement that theory or circumvent it. And hey, it seems like they did become aware of the interpretation of the film, because come the second movie, to my knowledge, they took creative power away from Rovio. So hey, they did circumvent it, as they went out of their way to make an alliance between the pigs and the birds after what happened during the first movie. The birds and pigs are locked in a war, but this time it's a funny prank war. Funny.
Your opinion is not needed.
Then a giant ball of ice nearly hits Pig Island, prompting a truce. They discuss how to stop the ice with Mighty Eagle, and then they get attacked again, prompting them to make an all-star team to defeat the not-so-mystery villain. If you can't tell, I'm really excited. This is the part where they introduce a bunch of new supporting characters, all of them being really, really memorable. You got Courtney, voiced by... Her personality is iPhone. You love him, you hate him, you can't get enough of the Brit. Here's Gary. He might be Australian, and he's a nerdy pig who knows technology.
Wow, indeed.
And then you have the new Bird Silver, known by many fans to be Alex Bird. And yeah, it's really cool. They took the fan favourite OC Alex Bird and turned... I'm joshing you. They made Chuck of his sister, who's an absolute brainiac, and her personality's being smart. Yup, and that's it. There's some B-plot about hatchlings trying to get eggs back. The hatchlings not being the ones in the first movie, which I don't get. But anyway, this B-plot is set up in a really dumb way, and they almost definitely made it a little side thing, so they could stretch out the movie to a length that isn't like a YouTube commentary video, I don't know. If this film didn't have any filler, it'd be like 20 minutes, tops. And then the hatchlings randomly show up at the end of the movie to save everyone, despite that not being how physics works, what the fuck. Considering that there's a new villain here, it meant that they had to introduce new enemies. The enemies in this case being eagles, because like pigs, they're a different species to birds. And there are a load of forgettable characters here too, some of which having some sort of important presence. I mean, they're not that relevant to the video, so I don't really care that much, but... Oh, and you have your typical celebrity cameo. The cameo I found out about recently being David Dobrik, YouTube's golden boy. But there are way too many celebrity cameos to count. It makes the impression that they used celebrities to promote the film, instead of making a genuinely compelling story. I've watched this film for the purpose of the video, and I've made a lot of notes. Although the overall sentiment towards the film is that if you thought the first movie was bad, which it wasn't really, it just had a really dumb message. The second movie is about making that intriguing plot, curb stomping it, and replacing it with a really generic and boring story. We've gotten the two enemies who don't like each other have to team up to stop the greater evil so many times, it isn't even surprising anymore. On top of that, they also shoehorned in romance into the film, which to be fair, did have a reason for being there considering they made Mighty Eagle into some dork with emotional baggage. But they also half-heartedly made Silver and Red into a couple in a really generic way, because they start off hitting each other like, ick. I would never work with her, man. And over time the stupid romance conventions would shine through, and Red would be caught down bad for this chick. Bird pun. God, I'm part of the problem, aren't I? If you watched my Red video, you would know that I think the cast of the film sets it back, as I don't have time to appropriately build up every character. Grab that flaw, expand it by 10, on top of character design which is even more drab than, I don't know, the Emoji Movie? I'm saying the first movie's better, not because it's well written, but at least it ends making you feel something, even though the message it leaves you with sucks. The second movie's got nothing for it. Hold on, apparently it does have a connection to politics. What? I will read out an excerpt from a Reddit post. Red, bracket Gen X, is trying to show how heroic he is, but is getting overshadowed by Silver, bracket Millennial/Gen Z, who is smart, with technology and planning. The problems are being caused by Eagle Island, bracket USA, and the eagles are a metaphor for baby boomers, who only think about themselves even if it causes problems for other people. At the end, Mighty Eagle and the main antagonist Zeta get married and have a big wedding. Bracket, people can get forgiven for doing bad things if they have got a really big event that the media likes. Aside from there being a proposed generational gap between people dating, they're birds, I don't know if I care enough, and Red is eggs in the game so I don't know the lore. And there may be a correlation, as it was confirmed that the movie does have an underlying political message of working together with your enemy for a greater threat. And if you take that into account with the plot of the movie, it is almost definitely referring to global warming. It's just that the threat of global warming is personified in a really annoying antagonist who I didn't go over because she's barely relevant. She has some dumb selfish plot about wanting to make the birds and pigs evacuate so she can go on holiday, and yeah, that's a really dumb motivation. Did I overanalyze two children's movies? Yes. Do I like them? Not really, they're cringy, but my thoughts on them? The first Angry Birds movie is mostly unremarkable aside from the underlying political commentary, and I don't think the political commentary is accurate or productive, but it still makes the film interesting to watch, and it gives it a more defined reputation for being bad rather than unremarkable, which I personally prefer, unremarkable being the perfect word to describe the second movie. It has less charm than the first movie. It has too many characters, most of which being ass, stupid memes that age badly, even though the movie is only 2 years old, and the plot isn't even engaging and shoehorns in romance for whatever reason. And with a third movie on the way, I can only imagine what plot they'll have next. Maybe they got like some illness or something, or maybe Red gets into the stork market. Oh. I know I just analysed a kids movie the second time this month, but I've got more unique stuff down the pipeline. Watch my other stuff in the meantime though, that'd be really epic, thank you. You can find them here. Have a great April though.